Hi everybody, Laura here for Simon Says Stamp. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a very colorful fall themed project to share with you using some Simon Says Stamp goodies. I'm going to start by adhering this panel of Neenah Solar White cardstock right to my grid mat. I just used some tape runner, and this is the beautiful Tumbling Leaves stencil, which I'm going to position kind of cropping off to the top right corner of this panel. You can position this stencil in so many different ways, and every way looks gorgeous. I've seen a lot of different designers do some beautiful things with this, but I had to give it a go. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but I'm masking off each one of these leaves. I'm doing it. But instead of using a ton of my Post-it tape, I'm using just printer paper. So I trimmed some strips of printer paper, and that's what I'm going to use to mask off each of the leaves. Now, every leaf is going to be its own unique color. This first one I started with cotton candy and then a little coral reef. So these are Simon Says Stamp delicious ink colors. And at first, I was looking through my inks. I thought, let me find some fall colors. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to grab a bunch of colors. I'm going to mix them up, and I'm going to make fall. I'm making it happen. Actually, I'm not sure if some of these leaf colors really exist in the real world, but in my imagination, they do. I think these leaf colors actually do exist. I don't know. That's to be determined. But whatever the case, it looks beautiful when you put them all together, this array. So you really can pull out the inks that you have and try a few unlikely color combinations. You might be surprised. For example, this one right here, I thought, let's do a little purple. So I pulled out hydrangea. Then for the corner or the tip, what do you call it? The inner leaf part, I added lipstick red. Never thought in a million years that I'd ever use lipstick red with hydrangea and like it. But I'm telling you what, I don't like it. I love it. I love it. So this one here is green apple. And then for the corner, I used hydrangea. So I'm mix and matching all those same inks that I pulled out, and I'm just combining them. Yeah, I'm just like going off the cuff. I'm riffing. So my kids, they always ask me this. Sometimes it gets on my nerves because I can never know the answer. But they always ask me my favorite things. Like, Mom, what's your favorite food? I don't know, but I say French fries because it's the first one that comes in my head. If I had to pick one thing, it'd probably be French fries. What's your favorite song, Mom? I don't know. I don't have a favorite song. What's your favorite movie? I don't know. But when they ask me what's your favorite season, that one I know. It's always been fall, always will be fall. And I will say right now here in Germany, fall is in full glory. It's spectacular right now. And there's so many trails and walking paths. Every time we go on a walk, I take my phone and I try to capture the beauty, but it doesn't do it justice on the phone. You know what I'm saying? It just can't capture it. I went ahead and finished all these leaves. And I mean, it's just glorious. I'm lifting up that stencil and very lightly kind of cleaning it just a little bit because I'm going in with some Wendy Vecchi embossing paste. This is the translucent, so it's going to dry clear. I've got one of these palette knives that you smear, lather, frost. It's like frosting a nice confetti cake. And you got to be generous, and then you try to smooth it out. You can't get it perfect. It doesn't matter. And then knowing when to stop. You got to have enough, but not too much, not too little. You know what I mean? It's like frosting. You ever had a cake that's got too much frosting? Not good. You ever had a cake that's got too little? That's even worse. You got to have the right ratio. Now, this is the hardest part of the whole thing, is the waiting game. And I actually let it sit overnight. You probably need about an hour to 2 hours to let it completely dry. I'm going to trim off the edges to trim this down to about a 1/4 inch smaller than my card base. I always like to do that. That way when I pop it up on a card base, it has a nice frame around the edge. I feel like it looks very professional, makes me look like I know what I'm doing. You know, fake it till you make it. So I put some foam tape on the back. I'm going to pop this panel up onto a fog card base. I'm trying to decide if I want the leaves to go on the top or the bottom. You know, I flipped that card around about 50 times. I edit that part out. Now for the sentiment, I'm using the Thankful One dies by Kathy Zilski, and I'm adhering the white word die to the black shadow using some Tombow Mono liquid adhesive. It's a very classic, straight up font. It contrasts nicely with the colorful leaves. And I put a little foam tape on the back of that, popping it up right up there on the top right. Now you could stop here. I'm going to add just a Coordinating Sentiment, the For You, which is from the 30 Days of Thankful, the 2018 set by Kathy Zilski. I'm just stamping the For You with VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I'm using one of the Sentiment label dies to die cut that out, and then I'll trim it out and pop it up right underneath the Thankful. So this is a great card for Thanksgiving, but it really could go any time of the year, but especially fall. Now to finish it off, I'm adding just a few sparkling clear sequins by Pretty Pink Posh in a few different sizes. I like to stagger them here and there, kind of tucking them where I can, and this card is finished. So it's hard to capture the sheen with that translucent embossing paste, but I mean, I'll tell you what, she's a showstopper. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.